1997 Constitution expanded parliamentary oversight by making it a requirement under Section 175, subsection 5 of the Constitution for public enterprises to report directly to the National Assembly their activity report and financial statements within 3 months of the end of each financial year. So currently, we should not be considering 2017, 2018, and 2019 activity reports and financial statements. However, because of the backlog we inherited, we had to work with the public enterprises so that we can put an end to the backlog. It is now the decision, the resolution of this committee to submit a consolidated report 2015 to 2019 to the National Assembly for consideration. It is anticipated that all public enterprises will seek to submit, to present their activity report and financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2020 so that we put an end to the backlog. The Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency is one of those institutions that we have worked with, and together we have finally reached one phase of the presentation of their activity report and financial statement, and that is the phase to complete the 2017 to 2019 period. They have presented their reports. After presentation, it is now the duty of the committee to subject what is presented to review in order to facilitate more elucidation if there is need for clarity, or for the substantiation if there is need to give more accountability. The exercise is precisely to engage the agency so that we'll be able to have a fair view of the state of affairs of the agency to facilitate proper assessment and the requisite resolutions and recommendations to the plenary. Members were informed that the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency is established by statute, and the law that establishes it creates 4 pillars for its operation. It makes it a requirement for the agency to promote investment. This is strategic. We all know that there can be no development of the productive base of any economy without investment. So the institution is strategically placed to be the cornerstone of the productive base of the Gambian economy. So we're not talking about an ordinary institution. And that is why the review of its performance is so fundamental. We will look at what the agency provides for us in terms of investment. How in 2017, 2018, and 2019 it had undertaken certain activities to promote investment into the productive base of the economy to facilitate its development. We are also informed that the agency has the responsibility to develop export. So there is a link between investment and export development. And here it is strategically placed to facilitate export promotion. We are also informed that the agency should encourage and support the formulation and development of businesses. It should help to grow a sustainable micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. So enterprise formation and development is also the third pillar that makes the agency to function. We are also informed that the agency should develop an effective policy advocacy campaign. So in essence, when we look at the activity report, we should see the driving force of the report. We should see investment promotion. We should see promotion and development of export potential. We should see support for the formation and development of micro, small, and medium enterprises. And lastly, we should see how it facilitates an advocacy campaign and that would ensure that its functions anchor on every element of development in the country. Honorable members, an institution must survive before it can carry out its function. And that is why the financial statement must be linked to the activity reports that are presented by the agency. Yes, that's it. But looking at the situation, it is important to see how the agency is thriving. And looking at its income statement, we are informed that its income for 2018 was 36,898,000, page 7 of the financial statements 2019. Financial statement 2019, page 7. We're informed that the income of the agency for 2018 was $36,698,000. And looking at the income statement for the year ended 31st December 2018, which may be referred to also in the statement given. We here also see at page 39 that the income of the agency for 2017 was 45,847,000. So we progress into 2018, we see 36,898,000. And we progress into 2019 and see 28,575,000. So it means that from that angle, income seems to be going down, and we must ask the question of sustainability. And what is very clear is 𝗀𝗶𝗃 is a subvented institution. But was it designed to be forever dependent on subventions? Or does it have the potential for revenue generation beyond government subventions? That is a question that board and management would need to address in this review exercise. Now, looking at the balance sheet, we can see at page 41, at page 40, that assets for 2017, looking at the total assets, is 240,142,000. For 2017, looking at the 2018 financial statement at page 40. It is compared with 2018, where the assets is recorded as $235,691. And comparing it with 2019, we see total assets of 228,247,000. So here we see the 𝗀𝗃𝗃 having assets. The question then becomes, what is the nature and characteristic of the asset that 𝗀𝗃𝗃 has? And what type of disclosure have we got in that regard? So looking at page 16 of the financial statement 2019, financial statement 2019, financial statement 2019, we look at page 16. We look at property and equipment, that's note 7. Note 7, the financial statement. Is this one? It's separated. I think this one is separated from the actual statement. Yeah. Could you assist them to the copy? So on page 16, it is actually saying property and equipment, that as at 4th January 2019, you have land business park with an asset value of 114 million. Then there is also building business park, 184,041,000. Land work in progress, 4,516,000. So in essence, there is asset that appears to be a source of income for 𝗀𝗶𝗘. And we have not seen in the activity report any strategic direction of 𝗀𝗶𝗘 towards utilization of its assets for sustainability. And that is the purpose of the activity report, to be able to inform us the state of play of the institution and how it could ultimately promote the sustainability of investment promotion, export promotion, enterprise promotion, and advocacy for the promotion of all those functions. Because without the survival of 𝗀𝗶𝗘 itself, those functions cannot possibly be promoted. So the financial dimension is of concern to the committee, and we hope board and management will also address that dimension. Members looking at its function, we are informed under the annual report 2019 that 𝗀𝗶𝗘 strove to carry out its responsibilities. First, the issue of investment. Activity report 2019, page 16, indicates investment activities. We're informed what is called inward missions. And we are informed that the agency facilitated 7 inward missions from 10 countries. Well, I guess it means 7 missions, and the inward mission was 5. 10 countries, and say 3 countries from Western Europe, Gulf states, Egypt, Malaysia, Asia, and Sub-Saharan Africa. The department attended to a total of 7 companies. Somehow it put brackets 5. This seems to be confusing in presentation. So somehow it is important that whatever is written down, I hope management, you are seeing what is being said, that we see 7 and we see 5 in brackets, we see 7, 5 in brackets. So the commas, so one does not know exactly what to say. So we need a remedy of that. But the sense we are getting is that there is what you call inward mission, and whatever that inward mission means is what we think you are trying to describe here by facilitating these trips to these various places. Is that inward mission? So I think that needs clarification, why you use the terminology in inward missions. But essentially we know that you have moved into these different countries, and the focus is of the economy is primarily energy, agriculture, tourism, and light manufacturing. We have the description, and hopefully in subsequent reports, what will be more essential rather than the generalization of the investments and the total sum invested, which is important, but the breaking down of the investments per institution is very significant. So that one will see what each investment is adding per annum, because that is the objective, investment to enhance the productive base of the economy. So it is important to see what each investment is adding per annum, since we are told that you do investigate to find out how the investment is actually performing in order to determine whether the incentives you are giving are well placed or not. So we see investments coming in. I'm sure the members will go into some of the details. I'm just giving a general view. And we have seen different companies investing. In 2019, Egypt Africa International Investment Holding investment mission in 2019 is linked to that. That led to other investments coming in terms of the hotels, going to construction of electric engineering and construction and electric engineering. So here we have the general view. So it is important to also look at some of the other investment into petroleum from Malaysia, and the creation of the special economic zones, which you have indicated you've invested $300 million. Or is this still being the process? Has actually this project actually materialized? What is the status of the mining taking place, light manufacturing taking place based on that special economic zone? So this is what our inquiry will lead to. We want to know exactly what is 𝗀𝗶𝗘's direction in terms of investment promotion, the incentives it is giving by creating the economic zones, how that had actually benefited the economy, these special incentives it is giving, certificates that is giving, investment certificates it is giving, tabulate them, give us an idea so that we know who is actually receiving and what is their performance criteria, because just like you have a performance contract of some sort, well, that's what the special investment certificate is all about. So what is the performance contract? How have you formulated that in actual structure? And how do you monitor it, and what is the yield that is important. Now, going to the issue of export promotion, we have seen what you have said on page 20, 2019 report, that these are export promotional activities. One is investment, but the linkage of investment to export is very important. That you have actually indicated some of the businesses that are operating in the Gambia. But then when it comes to export development, you said in activities 2019, we sponsored 12 export potential businesses at the GCCI International Trade Fair in April. Well, we need to have an idea of those businesses in actual terms. What are they exporting? How much have they exported? It would be very significant for 𝗀𝗶 to be a depository of the export statistics of the country on an annual basis, and then to be able to make a comparative analysis, how many of those companies and how much of that value came as a result of your promotional activities. Which companies have you grown, micro, small, etc., and what is the scale of each of their contributions, or cumulatively, what are they really promoting or contributing to the export earnings of the country. That is very important because essentially that should be the direction, to be able to expand, export, and facilitate the earning of foreign exchange to the country, or even facilitate import substitution. As we are now running a crisis of flour, etc. Well, all this should indicate that there is need for strategization of investment, and they talk about importing wheat. Do you really need to import wheat to have flour, or do we need to create our own sources of that? So what is the linkage between agricultural production and industrial production? One would expect that when it comes to promotional activities, it is these findings by 𝗍𝗶 that should guide, and concrete findings that should guide its recommendation in terms of advocacy for policy change. So we have seen, yes, export development, the companies that attended all these meetings, well, fine, but concretely, it is difficult to see what impact they are having in the export field in ensuring that Gambia becomes an export-oriented economy. We have seen also the support given to some enterprises, but it's just tabulating some enterprises. But what is the volume? Is it significant? Is it really impacting on export? Is it impacting on providing the services that the Gambian population needs? So there should be a linkage between the potential of what we are growing and the needs of the country in terms of that area. Then, of course, the issue of advocacy comes, and there too, a lot of promotional activities, but in essence, how strategic are the promotional activities in attaining the fundamental objectives for which 𝗍𝗶 was established? So, board, chair, and management, we are convinced that your institution is a key institution that should be able to propel the development of the productive base of the Gambian economy. And without it, we do not have any strategic instrument that will facilitate that development. So in that regard, members will be asking the relevant questions, so that ultimately you guide us to know how to help your institution and know its challenges and obstacles, so that ultimately we give recommendation that will be fit for purpose. Members, that said, I'll put the question that having submitted its activity report and financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2017, 31st December 2018, 31st December 2019, having presented these activity reports before this August body, that this committee now consider the activity report and financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2017, 31st December 2018, 31st December 2019 of the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency for your consideration. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those not in favor say no. The ayes have it. The floor is open for your consideration. Okay, it is brought to my notice that the external auditors are not present.
Just spoke to the managing partner.
It's on its way. Yes, we hope that the team will always understand that the work is incomplete until we adopt the reports presented, and any issue may come that will require the input of any partner. So it is important that the auditors know that they are part of the process and tied to the process until they are released. And we hope, honorable members, that the chair and board will always understand that this is a parliamentary inquiry. And it's unfortunate that we have not instilled that culture And it's because we inherited a past that we wanted to distance ourselves from. Because of that, we also must not sink into complacency. And that this is parliamentary inquiry, and I believe maybe it is important to stress certain things so that we will be able to speak with one voice and have one vision of what we are doing. We can't summon people to come, but it is better for the team to understand that they are a team. Once you have an agency and has an external auditors, well, they are together. So it means that once the agency is called, the external auditors also are called. And they should not wait for us to really summon them to come. Now, Section 109 of the Constitution says that for the purpose of effectively performing its functions, each of the committees shall have all the powers, rights, and privileges as are vested in a high court as a trial in respect of enforcing the attendance of witnesses and examining them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise, compelling the production of documents. So really, this is a powerful institution, and they should be seen as that. But it's not necessary always to exercise power beyond its relevance. So the relevance is for us to assemble, to state the facts, because we want to create a template that in the future will serve the interests of all of us. So we do not see any threat in the exercise that we are engaging. We believe that, in fact, it is facilitating the development of our institutions and making our experts to have greater competence, and our public servants to be able to deliver according to expectations. So we see it more as a partnership in this exercise, and we hope that it will be taken as such. So members, I've put the question, you interrupted it, but do I continue and say that we continue to do the review? Or would you wish us to wait for the external auditors and step down for a while and wait for them? What are you proposing now? Do we step down for a while and wait for the external auditors, or do
we should know concretely where they are? Where they are coming only for.
Right. Propose we step down for a while.
Step down.
Yeah, propose we step down.
Okay, I propose that we step down.
Yeah, it is proposed that the fact that the financial statements are vital, members propose that we step down for 10 minutes to wait for the arrival of the external auditors. It is proposed. Any secondment? Seconded. It is proposed and seconded that we step down for 10 minutes to allow the external auditors to appear so that we can continue the exercise of consideration and scrutiny. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those not in favor say no. It is moved and approved that we step down. So, board chair and management, you may retire, and then we'll call you back as soon as the external auditors are here. Thank you very much.